So, Mark, thank you very, very,
Okay.
very much for being here with me today for the very, very first in our series of Three Gems. So,
Thanks.
it's a welcome, and I just wanted to say too, it was just wonderful catching up with you in Stockholm. What was it, 2 weeks ago, at the Apsis
Yeah,
conference?
we go now. It's great.
Yeah,
Nicest.
you
You're
just.
looking as beautiful as ever.
Oh, thank you very, very much, Mark, and you're looking lovely too. Um, so, just as a little preamble about what the Three Gems is I'm very much a strong advocate for the rule of three as such. The rule of three is, as a writer, you probably are, or a journalist, you are aware of the rule of three as being, three bullet points. Humans understand or learn by patterns, and number three is the first pattern. And so that's why I sort of clued on to three. Okay, so let's just stick with three gems, three takeaways, three wonderful points that our viewers can walk away with and take with them today. So back to that then. Now, when we're in when we're in Stockholm, I had the pleasure of watching you present on the trends of email marketing. So, if you could give us those three gems that you feel are the most pertinent ones, that would be fantastic.
Okay. Well, yeah, I talked about email marketing trends for 2012, and the three trends I covered basically was mobile, social, and trigger emails. So I thought the three gems would be one from each one, kind of a key takeaway. So for mobile email, there's a lot of debate about how to design your emails to be mobile friendly or mobile optimized. How many people are using mobile, how many are not. And for me, the most important thing is if you do nothing else, and one of the options is do nothing, but if you do nothing else, then just remember the rule of thumb, if you like, which is that people are using thumbs and fingers. And if you look at my smartphone and I start prodding around with my finger, it's just not as easy as with a mouse click. So the main takeaway is links, calls to action have to be clear, have to be big, and have to be spaced out. So if you do nothing else with your mobile emails or your emails as a whole, make those links bigger, make them spaced out so that people going like this, and idiots like me who can't control their fingers very well are having no problem at all clicking on those all-important links and buttons and buy buttons and shop buttons and more information buttons. On social, my key takeaway there is simply to ask the question, why am I doing this? And particularly if you're throwing in icons and social icons into your emails, which is kind of the in thing to do, oh, let's put in a Facebook icon or a Twitter icon, is to ask yourself why. Why am I doing it, and why should the recipient actually click on it? Because as a recipient, if I look at your email and it's got this little Facebook icon on it, what does that actually mean? What do you want me to do? Why do you want me to click on it? What am I going to get to when I click on it? What do you want me to do? Why should I do it? So just throwing in icons, because that's what we do now, is not enough.
Yes.
And on the trigger emails, it's kind of a simple one, which is before we start getting all excited about possibilities and putting in your cart abandonment emails and your 20 email long welcome series, take what you've already got and optimize it. Okay, look at what you're already sending out as a trigger email, even if it's just a simple single welcome message, and sort that out first. And I was very impressed in Stockholm by Andrew Cordex, who said his talk when he said they took a password reset email, which is it's a trigger email, which no one would really think too hard about, optimized it with a better headline, a better call to action, a better subject line, and the revenue per email from that password reset mail went from $6, which is already huge, to $16, which is taking what you've already got and making it a little better. And then you can look at all the extra exciting stuff that we all talk about.
Exactly.
So there's
That's okay. So that's fantastic. So if we go back and review them, so starting with the triggers first, right? So the triggers
Okay.
is very much optimizing your existing, triggers. And often whenever I'm consulting and I'm giving advice to my clients, they're overwhelmed about the whole idea of implementing triggers because there are in fact a lot of triggers that you can implement which are going to help. But the key thing here is to start off with one, optimize that. You're going to learn a lot of lessons about your database, about your subscribers, what it is that they want. You can then go and implement those into the future ones. So optimize and get that one particular program optimized, and then keep on doing that. So that's brilliant. And okay, and social, I love that. So, and this again is really really close to my heart because what you're saying here, or what I'm reading into to what you're saying about the social, is basically have an objective for doing it. Don't just do it because it is trendy, or because you feel like you should, but actually understand what is your objective for having these social share icons, or for actually driving them to Facebook and so on. There's no point just doing it for the sake of doing it. There has to be a reasoning behind that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and the good point about driving people to Facebook, there's a lot of ways of integrating email and social, and there's this kind of assumption that it's always going to be better if you have a mix. People are getting emails and they're on Facebook and they're on Twitter. And the question I always ask and very rarely get an answer to is, if you take an email subscriber and encourage them to become a Facebook fan or a Twitter follower, do you really know that's a good thing? Maybe it is, but that's the question you need to ask, because the email is for direct response, for conversions, for sales, for all sorts of things. An excellent channel. Yeah, that's what people prefer to get coupons through, etc. If you then move them towards Facebook and Twitter, now that may be a good thing. I'm not saying it's not, but what happens if maybe they stop paying attention to emails because hey, we're on Twitter every day anyway, so we'll probably see your tweets. And then you might have a situation where you've got people moving from a conversion channel, if you like, to this more conversational channel. Or not, I don't know. Do people move across? But you need to understand those nuances before you just dive in and say, right, let's get everybody everywhere and doing everything all the time because, hey, email and social is the new thing. Yeah.
Yes. No, I agree entirely. And so therefore it does take thought, it takes planning, there's a strategy behind it. And maybe some questionnaires, maybe some surveys. You also find out what the overlap is. If your email program is the one that actually drives the revenue, then yes, you definitely need to be doing your research before driving them to social. Social more often.
Turning around as well. If email is the key one for driving revenue, then and you've got a lot of Facebook fans or Twitter followers, we'll encourage them to move to email as well.
Indeed.
It's not just icons in email, it also works the other way around.
Yes.
And so it just takes a little bit more thought than a lot of people give. We get so excited when we see a new toy, it's social icons, let's grab it and stick it in the email. Why?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah. No, I love that. I love just pause and think and go, do I actually understand the reason why? So yeah, that's great. And then finally, back to the very, very first one, which is mobile. Now, mobile is very, I talk a lot about mobile, so I completely, agree with everything that you're saying. You can do nothing. It's a bit of a scary thing, but of course, depending on your database, you first of all have to understand, whether you should or not. But at the very, very least, to be doing what you say to do is to be optimizing for those clicks, because whilst mobile is a sticky, it is a sticky medium. We want it's a killing time factor is how it's used. Queuing in a bank, waiting in a restaurant, whatever the story is, they do want to kill time. They do want to be engaged, but there's also that factor that they only really generally will have the patience for one click. And so if they end up accidentally clicking on the wrong click, then that's it. They're not going to go back and go and click on the other click again or the other link again. So yes, so that therefore, understand their journey and maximizing, that opportunity for yourself. So,
Yeah.
brilliant. Thank you very, very
Yeah,
much.
there's no downside to that either.
No.
Make your links clearer and easier to click. There is no tap. There is no downside to it. Even if you think you've got just a handful of mobile users, there's not really a lot to lose there and a lot to gain.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. So thanks very, very much for sharing your 3 gems with us, Mark. I really, really appreciate that.
My pleasure. I hope people found them useful, and I look forward to all the other interviews in your series. I'm very honoured to be the first one out there, and I'm going to be an avid reader or viewer of the rest as they come along.
Okay, brilliant. And we're very honoured to have you as our very first guest too. So enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Okay.
Take care, Kat.
Bye.
Bye.